in this video, I'm going to explain about performance management and talent management. So why performance management is really important in the organization, and what are the measures we need to take care of in order to track the performance of an employee, and why it is related to the talent. Each and everything will be explained in this video in detail. So you can watch this video till the end, and if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon for the latest updates. So coming to performance management and talent management. So what is performance? So since the day we hire an employee, we will be having certain expectations from an employee to meet or achieve the goals of the company in order to retain the values that has been maintaining by the company since its establishment. Okay, so if it's a service providing company, or be it be like a product based company, end of the day they will be having their own values and the reputation and the credibility that they have built in it. So as an employee, it's our responsibility to retain that value by performing much better and providing quality deliverables to our clients and to clients, or to your own organization if it is a product based company. So how we can derive the performance of an employee? By understanding his talent, which means his potential. So understanding the potential of an employee is very important. So if you understand the potential of the employee, then accordingly you can delegate the task, accordingly you can assign the goals and KRAs, and then you can expect performance from that respective employee. So by understanding the potential of an employee, we can expect the performance from that employee. Okay, so if we find someone is potential enough, which means he's a good talent where he can perform much better comparatively to others. So in this video, I'm going to explain about what is performance management and what will be the best method or practice in the industry in terms of this performance management, and what is the exact model that most of the corporate employees, employers prefer to use or implement in their organizations and have in practice in their organizations. So yeah, coming to competencies. So what is competency? Competency are the core skills which will build the characteristics of an employee. Okay, for example, let's say we have potential. So how we can understand the potential of an employee? By understanding his competences. So what are his competent skills which will build himself as a character, which will help him to perform much better. Okay, so that is called as competencies. These competencies together will build the potential of an employee. So competency assessment helps in evaluating whether an employee possesses the necessary skills, knowledge and abilities to perform much better in their job. So if you perform this competency assessment, so they can assess themselves, and if you also release the same form to the managers, they will assess the competencies of the respective employee in the process of interview. So you can clearly understand whether is this particular candidate competent enough or potential enough. So if we find that particular employee is competent, then we can understand the potential in order to match our expectations with from him. So likewise, you need to identify the areas of strength and weakness, and then where weakness in the sense, what is the improvement that we expect from him. Each and everything has to be analyzed accordingly. And this understanding the competencies of the employees will help in promotion and succession planning. So then again, we need to assess employee competencies contributes to overall organization effectiveness. So the reason why we assess employees' competencies, because it will contribute overall organization effectiveness, because end of the day organization effectiveness is something like providing quality services to their clients or customers, be it a product based company, providing good experience to its users or to its customers. So that will derive the organizational effectiveness, and that will be in the hands of employees. So we need to understand the potential of an employee in order to expect something from him. Okay, so yeah, this is about the potential. And now, what are the core competencies as per the roles? So each and every organization will be having their respective roles as per their organization structure. Be it be manufacturing industry, be it be IT industry, hospitality, or any other industries, chemical production industry, biotechnology industry, whatever it may be. These roles will be same in each and every category of industry. Okay, so starting from consultants, leads, managers, department heads and leadership, whereas department heads and leadership comes under the stakeholders. So If they are consultants, which means they are new to the corporate or maybe having 2 years or 3 years of experience, these people comes under consultants where their competence, core competences should be learning attitude, communication and presentation skills, discipline, time management, interpersonal skills and integrity skills. So these are the skills and this core competences that they need to have, being in that particular stage. And then coming to leads, once if they become leads, they need to acquire this kind of competences, by exploring or by upscaling themselves from certain e-learning platforms. Being customer centric is something which is a core competency that as a lead, he or she need to have coaching and mentoring skills, delegation of the tasks, problem solving skills, conflict resolution, goal setting and alignment. And then coming to managers, they need to have a core skill which is called as team management, customer management, critical thinking, communication and collaboration, decision making, creativity and innovations. So likewise, based upon the roles, certain core competences are something like we expect from a candidate to hire them. So while hiring them itself, we need to release a form in order to take in order to understand the competencies of an employee. So you need to roll out a survey so that you can clearly understand the core competencies of an employee. And after 3 months of their joining, you can also roll out another survey like role orientation or engagement index survey in order to understand the potential and the performance of an employee from their managers. This is how the core competencies can be analyzed from an employee. And then now coming to the detailed description of potential. So let's say we have a 9-grid box model, which I'm going to explain you at the end of the video. This 9-grid box model is something which will help you to understand where employee can be mapped in the respective box. So we will be having totally 9 box, and this 9 box will be derived with 3 rating scales of potential and performance. So let's say the 1 will be as low, the 2 will be moderate, the 3 will be high, both in potential and performance. Okay, so in this case we are explaining, I'm explaining about the potential, and here you need to understand there are 3 rating scales which will derive the 3 categories of potential, which where the 1 specifies the low potential, 2 moderate potential, and the 3 would be high potential. So the left side here, willingness and readiness, business acumen, adaptability, growth mindsets, or the personal or team leadership skills, all this comes under the attributes, where these attributes will help us to understand where we can exactly rate employee based upon their potential. Either we can rate them as low potential, moderate potential, or high potential. Based upon these attributes, you can you can be able to rate those particular employees. Okay, so this is how the potential mapping happens. And now coming to performance. So objective achievement, competency evaluation with performance, organization, citizenship, behavior. So these are some attributes which will derive the performance on 3 rating scale again. So likewise, we have same like if we have potential, right? One comes under low potential, and the 2 comes under moderate potential, and the 3 comes under high potential. Likewise, you need to also categorize the scaling in the performance, where the 1 indicates low performance, 2 as moderate performance, and the 3 as high performance. And these three attributes will derive the categories of this performance of an employee. And then accordingly, we need to map that particular candidate based upon their potential, aligning with the performance. So how that can happen? You might be having a brief understanding about the 9-grid box fitment process, where the y-axis would be having potential, whereas the x-axis would be having performance. And as I have told you, the 1 indicates low, the 2 indicates moderate, and the 3 indicates high. So we have 3 rating scales on x-axis and 3 rating scales on y-axis. Hence, we can derive a 9-grid box fitment. So if you see here, if the performance of the candidate is low and the potential of the candidate is low, then this particular candidate will fall in the first box. Likewise, if the performance is low and the potential is moderate, then the box fitment will be second, where the particular employee will be a right fit in the second box. And if the performance is low and if the potential is very high, then the box number will be the 3. Likewise, all this total, in total of 9 boxes will be derived based upon the mapping of potential aligning with the performance. Okay, and then likewise we'll be having totally of 9 box. Hence it is called as 9-grid box fitment. So by understanding the potential of an employee, which is aligned with the performance, we can easily map or rate employee with the particular boxes. So now if you see here, the box 1 indicates red list, which means these people doesn't perform and they don't even have certain potential enough. I mean, though you are trying to give some certification programs, they are unable to upskill or grow themselves or enhance themselves, which means they are, though they are unable to enhance and upskill themselves, which means they are unable to perform properly. So these people comes under the box fitment number 1, which means they fall under the box 1. And coming to box 2 people, like they are low performers, but they have moderate potential, which means the potential is moderate and they are performing low. Though their potential is moderate, still the performance is not moderate. Still it is low, which means though we are trying to give some skills or training to them, he is unable to achieve the targets of the customer or of the client, which means they will be falling under box 2. Coming to box 3, they have high potential but the performance is very low. Here HR intervention or resource management team intervention is very important, because if the potential of the candidate is high, accordingly he need to be utilized to the projects. For example, let's say I am having core skills which is into development, okay, product development, like I have Java skills, Kotlin, C language, C++, and all these core skills I have, but I was deployed into a support project. So how do I feel? I feel demotivated to work, right? Because my skills are not aligned with the work that I'm currently doing, because I'm currently working in the support project rather than the development project. So these things will help us to understand where the particular employee will fit the box fitment. Okay, so these people generally they fit in the 3rd box. And coming to 4th box, so these people have a low potential but their performance is moderate. Okay, so if they're performing moderate, which means they are willing to perform, right? They are willing to perform, but their potential is very low, which means it's our responsibility where we need to take a support from L&D department to conduct some surveys in order to understand their potential and their current skill set. Whether their skill set is currently reaching the market standard or not. If it is not as per the market standard, then L&D department has to take an initiative to assign certain certification programs with certain SLA period and ensure that employees are completing the certification programs. So likewise, these people comes under the box 4. Coming to box 5, if their potential is moderate and if the performance is moderate, these are the people like they never try to think something out of the box. If the task is assigned and if certain expectation is given to them, they will never try to reach beyond the expectations. They will try to reach the expectations but not beyond expectations. They will be in that particular phase where they will be having the certain borders fixed around them and they will never try to go above and beyond. Okay, so these people generally they fall in the category of 5. Coming to 6th box, so they have high potential but they are performing moderate. So these are the people like coming to box 3 and 6. So these are the people where their potential is good but their performance is moderate, in the sense they are not motivated properly, which means coming to box 8, if their performance is moderate, might be they have not compensated well and they have raised disparities among themselves within the teams, or if they are not properly recognized to the work that they have done. For example, let's say the difference between the appreciation and recognition. If employee feels that he is appreciated but not recognized properly, then it's our responsibility as a HR to understand whether that employee is properly being recognized or not, even though if he is performing better. Accordingly, we need to take an initiative as a HR professional, and then we need to recognize people accordingly, so that end of the day the quality of the work is very important for us. And coming to 7th box, so these are the people like their potential will be very low but their performance is very high, which means, for example, let's say customer has assigned me a task, client has assigned me a task which has to be completed within 2 hours. So these people, since they have less potential, they will try to complete the task within 4 hours but not in 2 hours. Okay, so basically these kind of people, since they don't have potential, they will try to perform much better, because end of the day they need to meet the expectations of the client, but they will try to take some time and they will try to cross the exact time that was the exact time period that was assigned by the client. They will try to go beyond it and will cross the deadlines, but still they will try to achieve the targets of the customers or clients. So these are the people where they are willing to perform from their wholeheartedly. So for these people we need to provide some certification programs, right, so that these people will get motivated to perform much better. And then coming to 8th box, so these people are something like they have moderate potential and they're trying to perform their performance is as expected. So these people come under 8th box. Coming to 9th box, these are the people like their performance is high and their potential is high, which means they are future leaders, which means like their strategies, and they will always try to think something out of the box and implement the same in the company, and they will always try to explore from the market, to implement the same in the company, and they always wanted to, see their organization somewhere, which means they always try to map their project or their process with the market standard. So they always try to think something out of the box, and they will try to implement the things. So these are the people who come under the ninth box. So generally these people comes, they are called as superstars. So likewise, when it comes to box numbers, box 1 are something like, red list people, and box 2 are something like we need to give a chance by initiating EDP or PIP. EDP in the sense Employee Development Plan, whereas PIP in the sense Performance Improvement Plan. So based upon the organization, they nomenclate this particular, jargon. And then come into box 3, mentor or monitor. We need to mentor that particular candidate or employee where he can get motivated and perform much better. Coming to fourth box, these are people where who are challenged, where we need to provide some certification programs, or else we need to mentor them accordingly to meet the customer expectations. And then motivate. So if you motivate the box 5 people, they will definitely perform much better in future. Coming to box 6, which is develop. So box 6 people are like, as I've told you, if you recognize them accordingly, and if you map or match them their expectations with the market standard, definitely they will try to perform much better. Coming to box 7, so box 7 are rewarded people, like though they are less potential, they will always try to perform much better. So if you motivate them accordingly by providing some certification programs, as I've told you before, then definitely they get motivated and perform much better. So as I've told you, box 8 and box 9 are superstars. So this is how we are going to map people into the boxes by aligning the potential with the performance. So then if you see here, this is a workflow where we are going to initiate the continuous feedback in the organization. So usually most of the organization prefer to follow financial year in terms of performance management, and there are few other organizations who follow calendar year. So when it comes to financial year, firstly you need to divide the categories into, the workflow into two half-yearly cycles. So H1 and H2. H1 assessment is something which will start in the month of April and will end in the month of September. Coming to H2 assessment, this will start in the month of October and end in the month of March. So this workflow will be started from the goal setting. Goal setting is something which will be done on annual basis. So if you see on the top left corner, I have indicated a symbol there, which means this goal setting is a collaborative stage where an employee has to sit with a manager to understand the goals, where certain goals would like to assign by themselves by an employee, and manager would like to assign some goals to an employee. So this collaboration has to be done accordingly, and then the goals has to be set to an employee, and ensure that goals are accepted by the employee, which will happen in the second stage of the workflow. And now coming to third stage, this is an H1 ongoing follow-up. Like you should start recognizing people based upon their efforts and their contributions and their deliverables and their hard work. So this will happen in the H1 ongoing follow-up. And coming to H1 self-assessment. So here is the stage, or here is the time where employee has to self-assess himself, like where exactly he is standing at, or what he is exactly expecting from us, or whatever the work or contributions that he has done, exactly he need to self-assess himself, and he need to write the comments in this particular stage. And he need to also understand his strength and weakness, and exactly the same has to be mentioned in the comment box. So that the manager, when it comes to the next stage, that is H1 manager assessment, he will clearly understand the expectations and the areas of improvement in that particular employee by looking at the H1 self-assessment comments. And then accordingly, a manager will give his comments. So once after manager gives his comments, then it's a responsibility of an employee to give his consent on the comments which are provided by the manager. And if these manager comments are something like contradicting, then employee has every right to push the form back to the manager and ensure that he or she is providing right comments as per your deliverables, or else as per your hard work and contribution that you have done till date. Okay, and then only accordingly you can give your consent. Still, if the conflict or dispute arises among you both, then definitely HR intervention is very important here, where you can raise a grievance to HR, so that HR will come into the picture, and they will try to solve this grievance within 48 hours. And now coming to H1 review. So you basically know about the organization structure and the reporting matrix. So you as an employee, you report to a manager who will be your first level manager, and your reporting manager will report to another manager who will be a second level manager. So this second level manager will be reviewing all the comments which are provided by the manager and employee, and then he will start giving the final comments. And this is how the H1 cycle completes. And now coming to H2 cycle. So in H2 cycle, there are two stages which will be, the absence of two stages. You can see here, like, goal setting and the goal acceptance. So these two stages are not required in H2 cycle because, as I've told you, goal setting will happen on annual basis. So if you set the goals in the beginning of the financial year, then these goals, will continue till the till the end of financial year. Okay, and the same goals will apply in the second half yearly cycle of this performance management. So again, the ongoing follow-up will happen where employee and manager will try to collaboratively work together and understand the performance. And then the employee will be giving his self-assessment there, and right from there, manager assessment, and again coming to consent of an associate where he need to give consent of by reading those comments which are provided by the manager, and then going to H2 review where the second level manager will provide his comments by assessing the comments of manager and the employee. And then this will move to the completion where the calibration sessions will happen accordingly. Calibration will happen after H2 cycle and also after H1 cycle and also after H2 cycle. Both stages the calibrations will happen, so that accordingly who are not performing better, these people will be having a soft exit by having a discussion with the HR manager or HR team, and then accordingly all the people will be rated. Okay. So coming to box fitment, as I've told you, this is how the box fitment would be, and in the calibrations, all the employees based upon their potential and the performance will be tagged in the respective boxes. Okay, so how these calibrations will happen basically. So calibrations are something like your HR business partner or your HR professional whom you are mapped as a HR. You has to sit. You in the sense the HR has to sit with the respective stakeholder or the department heads or business leaders to understand the performance of an employee, whether their potential is correctly being mapped with the performance or not. So ensure that the potential is always aligning with the performance, and then only accordingly you can give the ratings or fit them into the boxes. And this is how the calibration sessions will happen, and still they will try to take an input from the respective stakeholder, whether we can propose promotion or the designation change or a level change, your band level change, or if we can provide the expected hike. Basically HR team will do a compensation benchmarking process, and still if your manager or stakeholders are proposing greater hike than the market standard, they will try to provide those inputs to us, and all these inputs will be recorded, and that's how the calibration sessions will happen on half yearly basis, because we are conducting 2 cycles in a financial year. Okay, so this is how the performance management will happen in a corporate companies, especially in the big Cs. So yeah, in the next video, I'll go to explain how the calibrations will happen technically, because technical calibrations are something which is very important, and if you would like to implement this technical process in your company, then you have to watch that video for must and should, because you will try to understand how to fit boxes by aligning the potential with the performance of an employee. Okay, and also after that I'll also explain you how to benchmark internally and as per the market standard, how to benchmark the salaries by using compare ratio, and apart from that how to align the compare ratio with the performance and then derive the percentage of hikes and propose those hikes. So each and everything will be clearly explained in the next video. So yeah, so this is what I would like to explain about the performance management and talent management. So you might have understood why I have named it as talent management, because you are trying to align the potential of a candidate with his performance, which means you are observing his talent. You are trying to recognize his talent and rate them accordingly. Hence, this is called as performance management and talent management. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this video, guys, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.